People who work at 5-star hotels. What type of shit goes on that management doesn't want people to know? We don't want you to know that the people who stayed in the room before you were fucking nasty. Housekeeping gets the brunt of it. I've seen them carry out bags of used sex toys, peel used condoms off of every surface, and scrub shit actual human, presumably, shit off places there's no reason for human shit to be. The worst though, was the couple that wanted a home birth but not, at home because gross. We had to deal with that hazmat situation. Fuck them as hard as we could with penalties and fees though. A lot of lonely people going on vacation to end their life. Happens a lot, but is never mentioned on the news. I've left the do not disturb sign on the door all day, because I wanted a quiet day alone, and around 4 p.m. housekeeping plus a manager came and knocked to do a welfare check for this exact reason. Note that I've spent a lot of time in hotels, and have only had that happen once, but it makes sense I guess. Lots of prostitution and all the drama/legal trouble that goes along with it. Corporate functions like conventions, parties, etc. where there's an open bar almost always leads to something fucked up happening. One hotel I worked at hosted a Christmas party for an investment firm, and 2 guys started jockeying for the affections of a female co-worker. They all wound up on an elevator together and the guys started fighting. The elevator went into safety lockdown, we had to call the PD and the FD. One guy went in a squad car, one guy went in an ambulance. We had to give the woman some clothes from Lost Found because her dress was covered in blood, and the elevator was out of service for 6 hours to clean it up. There's always a ton of back-of-house drama too. Especially among the execs and the junior managers. Affairs, backstabbing, a little light fraud. The usual. I don't work in one anymore, but used to. This isn't really shenanigans, but the staff is not nearly so impressed by famous or rich people as some of them seem to think we should be. It was a fancy hotel. We had rich and famous guests all the time. And it was usually the ones nowhere near the top of the ladder who tried to be the most imperious and expected the most deference. If you have to try to convince us you're high status, you aren't. We'd provide polite, professional service for all our guests and try to be helpful and accommodating, but being a C-list actor or whatever isn't going to get you a table in a full restaurant or an upgrade to the already occupied fancier suites. And if there's a severe blizzard and the airport is closed, we can't open it for you because you're too special to have to wait to fly out. Even if you're a very important businessman. I found while working in one of the higher-end hotels in my city that the really famous people don't want attention. At all. They don't want room service or staff hanging around. Even the welcoming group of the GM and friends is a bit much. Just go away and let them be alone. 9 out of 10 times you would just hear video games or a movie from the room. They just want their alone time. It's the D-list celebs who know damn well they're not all that demand the attention. Likely to prove to themselves that they are important. And don't even start on people whose biggest claim to fame involves Twitter, Instagram, or influencer. Goddamn parasites who expect to be treated like billionaires, but not cough up a single cent. Worked in 5-star hotels in Beverly Hills. Boy do I have stories. Sheik picks up a hooker in the bar, takes her to his room. She roofies him and steals tens of thousands of dollars of cash, watches and valuables. Husbands who will say hello to staff with their mistress on their arm on Thursday night, and their wife on Friday night. Famous teen celebrity left a room full of needles and various drug paraphernalia behind for housekeeping to clean up. Middle Eastern royalty ships in multiple Ferraris and Lamborghinis to the hotel from their home country to drive for the week. Caught drag racing later that night by the cops in the neighborhoods of Beverly Hills. Largest checkout bill I've ever seen was roughly $2 million for guest who rented out an entire floor of suites for 3 weeks, promptly paid via wire transfer. The list goes on. As part of our training as bellman, we are to ask open-ended questions to the children to make sure they aren't being used for sex trafficking when bringing in luggage to dad and daughter types. My dad works in security in the same hotel, so he often gives me a heads up if the guest with the child is already under suspicion regarding their behavior at the front desk for check-in. It rarely happens, but hotels are the breeding grounds for sex traffickers. This blew up. Thank you for the rewards to those that found my insight helpful. The questions vary depending amount of information security, and the front desk tells the crew. Has this guest ever stayed with us or any other of our different umbrella hotels? Lines of questions try to get the child to speak in general, as many traffickers take in children that don't speak English. Otherwise, questions about their stay get directed at the child instead of the guardian. What adventures are you guys up to here in Chicago? Is your dad here on business? We crouch and say if they would like to help the bellman work. Most kids love the experience. We usually crouch down and try to make eye contact. If I can't definitively tell security that the child is 100% comfortable in their surrounding, or if the guardian tries to lead the child away from me deliberately, security gets an internal investigation going. My dad has given me confirmations of arrests made of guests that I had attended to. Summer is a hectic season, and it happens more than you would like. What goes on the room next to you? This week we to evict and have arrested a couple for causing over $15,000 in damages to a room. This was done quietly late at night and the nearby rooms never found out. I can't think of a way I could casually cause $15,000 in damages in a night without being noisy. Were they doing it maliciously just to cause damage? Dead people. In some places there's a reasonable chance somebody has died in your bed. Obviously it varies with the type of hotel and its clientele, but some places you get deaths weekly. Not that the hotel is unsafe, but unfit old people overexerting themselves. One place I worked, maybe 40% of the beds had been died in. Bed bugs. They happen in every hotel. You might be paying $5,000 a night, but your luggage was in the hold with everyone else's. If there's only 1 or 2 bugs and none in the adjacent rooms, diamond style, so above, below, and both sides, then you brought them in. You know what I never saw happen? Maids stealing. Everyone always points at the maids when they lose stuff, but we always found it. No way the maids are risking their jobs over your used iPad or mall jewelry. With tips they make pretty decent money. I used to work events at hotels, and one time we had a guest break their wine glass inside a water refill barrel. I left work for 2 weeks to go on vacation, and when I came back, all the glass was still piled inside the water refill barrel. People must have been drinking out of it because there were events booked while I was gone. Never trust glass in rooms. GRAs are so stretched thin on time that they will clean the glasses with the same rags they clean the bathroom. After all, their goal is to make the room look clean. I worked as a GRA in a 5 Diamond for years, and there was over a year period that went by where we didn't get a clean glass delivery. We didn't have dishwashers in the room, so management was complicit. This was in a 5 Diamond, one of the top resorts in the world. Never trust glass in hotel rooms. Suddenly the sealed plastic cups at Holiday Inn seem 5-star to me. We don't bat an eye at prostitution or whatever goes on in the rooms as long as it doesn't affect other guests. Half the women that come to the bar are working girls looking for a sale. The only thing that the hotel industry ever really reports is human trafficking. There are telltale signs, and if something doesn't add up we do report it to local authorities. I don't know about all 5 asterisk hotels, but I'm sure this happens at most of them. Front desk/reservation staff will basically stalk you online if you're a notable VIP, and your picture will be shared internally to ensure everyone recognizes you, so you feel special when you arrive and everyone already knows who you are. The scale. Management wants things to be automatic for you. A person there when you need them and every item you could need before you need it. But the scale of that is purposefully hidden. For example, you see your housekeeper. You might see that there are 5 other housekeepers on that floor, a houseman per floor, and a special request delivery person. If you look closely, you don't see the 4 to 6 desk workers manning the radios, so that we know when to enter certain rooms, who want special pillows, how we manage the 3 rooms that all want service at 1 p.m. or replacing rooms that asked for no service. You don't see the 6 supervisors spot checking checkout rooms for cleanliness. Nor do you see the laundry teams, plural. Sheets and guest laundry are separate, and guest is split into dry cleaning and non-dry clean. You might see the public parlor attendants, but you probably won't see the team cleaning the pool or deep cleaning the gym sauna. At 7:30 a.m. every morning, the service area just explodes with activity, like you kick 2 ant nests at once. 60 housekeepers on a single shift? Guess it's a slow day. And that's just housekeeping. We have 3 industrial-scale kitchens for various purposes. 4 if you count pastries. Security teams. Contact companies for large events. Teams of engineers in every specialty. I don't even know where the IT office is, but we do have one. I'm one of the more knowledgeable on where to find items for special requests, and I still find new storage rooms every other week. We found a 1930s printing press nobody knew we had. It's fucking wild how many moving parts there are. Flipping 500 rooms in a day while setting up for 2 $1 million weddings simultaneously. Fulfilling 100 room service orders while catering those weddings while running our restaurant. fixing a leaky shower head in the pool while ensuring a guest had an extra couch in their room for the kid that just loves couch beds. All of this together is called an average Tuesday in summer.